Greetings, viewers! Welcome back to episode, I think 6 or 7 of Neko Dubs. I'm not sure, like I don't know, but welcome back to Neko Dubs. I'm your host, Brian Hall, and with me is my co-host, Andy, who's also the creator and founder of Neko Dubs. And welcome back to Neko Dubs podcast, where we all talk about random stuff and mostly nerdy stuff. It's where you'll all sit back, relax, and just nerd out with us too. Isn't that right, Kami?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I like the attitude. I like this. That's the spirit, Kami. And you are gonna also watch us, watch mostly me flounder and vary all the intros from now on. I'm just gonna switch from intros back and forth. I'm not gonna say the same thing. But yeah. That's what you call a work in progress, right?
Well, it's called spontaneity.
Yeah, spontaneity at its finest. But anyways, so today's topic is going to be about music. And we're going to talk about music in a very broader sense of things. It's very similar to our topic in terms of heroes and sci-fi, where it's a broad topic and we're all going to, just nerd out about music and just have fun, go with the flow, and just go from one spot to another. That's just how it is. But yeah, we are going to talk about music. So, starting off, Andy, what is your favorite genre of music, or do you have any genre of music?
I grew up listening to all kinds of music.
Yeah.
So if something like fancies my taste, like something like anything that I seem to like, I don't care what kind of genre it is.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, I even pick certain songs from a band. I'm like, I don't like this band, but I like these two songs.
That's really pretty. Well, for me, it's like, I'm with you in terms of like variety. I'm very versatile with my genres. I like, here's the thing for me, right? If y'all met me or like want to be friends with me and y'all have like genres that are very underrated, if y'all expose those genres to me, I will get into them for like a long period of time. I'm not joking. Like, I have some friends who expose me into like underground rapping. This underground rapping and indie pop, indie like native raps, native pop. I got into Christian rapping and Christian rock for like 2 weeks, I believe. Like literally, I'm really also fine with any genres except for mumble rap. Like, I hate mumble rap. That's the only exception to this rule. I'm sorry, mumble rapper fans, but the rappers are awful. They don't deserve to be called rappers. I consider them as mumble artists. That's just who they are. I think their stuff is awful. But yeah, that's me.
You can like a certain thing.
Yeah. I mean, of course, but like, you know how there's like a Kim Kardashian, Kim Kardashian. That's like mumble rapping. Like, mumble rap is literally the Kim Kardashian of hip-hop. Because the thing about mumble rapping to me is that it's mostly people bouncing off to sounds. People dancing and having fun with the sounds. Whether it's the producers or whether it's the sound that we're making that are very illiterate. Not necessarily the artists or the words. And like, I also come from a very heavily literary background as someone who's into theater. I have, theater and acting in general. Like, we have, within my classes, especially Shakespeare, we learn a lot about literacy and things like that. And one of the things about literature, right, is that it's primarily divided into two categories. So we have the vowels and the consonants. The vowels, they're important because they're evocative. They express a sense of emotion, like any sorts of emotion, whatever. That's why you need a vowels. That's why you need A, E, I, O, U. You start off like when you're in pain, you're like, ow, right? Because when you get hit, I mean, not too exaggerated, but usually when let's say you got hit by something, you'll say like "ow" or something like that, or when you're happy, you're like "ah" or something like that. Everything starts off with emotion and vowels, so vowels are important. Consonants are also important too because they promote intelligence, right? They have intelligence. They promote critical thinking. They promote those type of things. That's why Shakespeare is considered one of the best writers of all time because his work has so many consonants, especially his very celebrated works like Hamlet, King Lear. Those are his darker works. His later works, they're more celebrated and considered to be the best because of his usage of consonants. Like, to be or not to be, that is the question, whether 'tis nobler in the mind. Like, all those consonants. Or, oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve into a womb. We have those richness of the consonant. The reason why those two are important is that if you leave one of them out, like for example mumble rappers, they basically screw the consonants and just make weird noises. It makes your stuff forgettable. Like, honestly, that's just how it is. It makes it forgettable, if you get what I mean.
That's why I don't like grunge rock.
Wait, what's one
Oh, no, yeah, it's more like the heavy metal stuff that you could barely understand a word they're saying.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're just yelling.
Yes, I agree.
I don't...
Go ahead.
Oh my god. I was like, how do you make a song? What's the song? Is it you yelling?
Yeah. I agree with you in that aspect too, because heavy metal can be there's good heavy metal, and then there's certain heavy metal it's kind of like out of hand. That's just part of the genre itself, I felt like, but like that's why.
Well, that nowadays there's a different type of. Well, people are staying away from the whole let's yell everything.
Oh yeah, of
course. Call it rock.
Of course, it's not sustaining. It's not substantiable, and also people are diverging. Bands are diverging into pop more. Like you could, if you compare the genre of like, if you compare Fall Out Boy from their earliest hits to now, it's completely different.
Oh god, don't get me started on pop music. I mean, as I said, I don't mind the genre of pop music.
Yeah.
I have a lot of things I like about pop music. Like, every time I turned on the radio, all they were talking about is trying to, take off the girls' clothes, and a lot of things about every 5 words was about sex.
Yeah, that's one, like, pop I respect, but like it when it becomes not only it does it become a bit too mainstream, it's very degenerative. There are pretty good pop artists out there though. Like for example, Halsey's work is a much more mature, a bit better. But like a lot of her earlier stuff is actually very very well done. I think in terms of lyricism and like the way it resonates with the audience, that's why she literally blew up. So Halsey's an exception, but I agree with you. A lot of it comes from
I don't mind love songs. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge sap.
Yeah, like
but
love songs
don't make it sound like a porno.
I mean, that's just how it is, really. They a lot of music tend to be very objectified or sexified. It's unfortunately a lot of the mainstream stuff. Unfortunately, that's just how it is, and it's very evident in mumble rapping too. Like they literally only talk about money, sex, and drugs, and about the girl. That's why I hate mumble rapping. It's like it doesn't require skills, and the topic you're talking about is so generic and boring. It's like there's no point. There's no point in listening to that shit or consider them as comparative as the likes of Tupac or Eminem or Biggie. Like all their works, all these rappers, their works, they latch on to you for like years. Eminem Lose Yourself like came out in like 2002, and people are still talking about it now, and that's 16 years ago. Like we're not gonna, from 10 years from now, we're not gonna talk about Gucci Gang or like literally Gucci Gang or Panda or stuff like. We won't be talking about those words. We'll be talking about more works that are very critical and very inventive in its own ways. Like we'll be talking about Kendrick Lamar, we'll be talking about J. Cole and things like that, not necessarily those works. That's why I really hate mumble rapping. It's like it's not gonna sustain in a sense.
I mean, most of the time when rappers go, I like the YouTuber ones that aren't mainstream.
Oh yeah.
Because they try harder.
Well, some of them, yes, for sure. Like Dan Bull. There's certain types though. There's certain because you have like rappers like Dan Bull, right? Yeah, he's great. Watsy is awesome. Oh my gosh, he's crazy good. Like holy cow! Like his flow is eccentrically very rapid and it's just crazy, and the words he come up with is pretty well. But I agree. But then you also have the other spectrum of YouTubers who are just terrible and just literally doing it for the sake of popularity and dissing. Like you have diss rap, so like Logan Paul, Rice Gum, those people, like it's awful.
I mean, I'm all about sharing music. Don't get me wrong. That's why it chose its topic.
Yeah.
Music is one of the most popular things out there that connect people.
Yeah.
But just please don't make the genre bad.
Yeah,
please,
that's literally what I'm
saying. I don't
saying.
give a shit when it comes to genres. Just don't make it bad. I mean, I listen to certain musics when it comes to like YouTube and stuff. I mean, I listen to rappers and they're good, but I also listen to cover artists and other stuff.
Yeah.
And half the time when they're trying to do a cover, they want to be good. Not, hey, I'm here to get popularity and maybe girls.
Hey, that's me too. like, because I have done covers before too. Like, I posted a few covers on my YouTube channel, and my goal essentially is to sound good, right? To be good, but my goal is to be different too, because I think as a cover artist or someone who's trying to be a cover artist, I felt like and also this also applies to like when I watch and listen to other singers' covers. I felt like one thing you have to be is unique from the original artist or from singing. You have to do things that you're not necessarily doing the same thing as others, because covers tend to be a very high influx of people doing it, so it can get drawn out and boring, especially when everyone else is doing the same song. So you need to have a niche, right? You need to have, whether it's visually or whether you're doing it conceptually different and stuff like that, you need to have a niche while not getting copyrighted by the owner. And that's what I
see. That's one thing. People always do the copyright songs because if you're covering something, it should be fine as long as it's not monetized or, great.
Well, yes and no.
I mean, that's music. So, it should be sung. I mean, that's when most people do the covers of certain songs. They say it's a cover.
Well, yeah, right. You're right in that aspect, but it's a bit of a yes and no type of thing, because like what you're saying is right, is still right, but to an extent.
Not making money off of it though.
Yeah, well, it depends, because as you become bigger, you're gonna make money off of it. The thing about covers is that what usually large number of people don't get, and I have read this in the guidelines before I actually do a cover, but before I start a cover. So the thing about covers, especially on YouTube, is that you can do a cover. As long as you credit the instrumental, as long as you credit the original owner and things like that. However, the owner has a right to copyright strike your video or cover video. If the owner has a right to take your video down if he he or she doesn't want to want someone to cover it. At the same time, though, usually that's pretty rare because owners would definitely want want someone to cover their song. It just promotes more of who they are and promotes the cover artist as well, but it also promotes them. So that's just, but usually if the artist like publicly or like struck it down, then you can't really recover it. So it really depends on the artist.
All I'm saying is that half the time some of those artists do really well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's just how it is.
Even if it's their own original music on, YouTube or something like that, they do really good.
Oh yeah. Especially when it's original content on YouTube. Like that's why I love like I'm more of a YouTube singer, like YouTube artist person than publicly. Like of course I know like of course I listen to public stuff. I listen to K-pop, I listen to anything. I listen to K-pop, listen to bands, listen to Panic! At Disco and stuff like that, but I also go back to like other artists of different genres, for example, that are in YouTube. So like Lindsey Sterling, Dan Bull, like oh my gosh, I love their stuff. I watch Ski too, but like if you look at Lindsey Sterling, her work is just revolutionary because back then, before Lindsey Sterling, there's not a lot of like electronic. There's a lot of, in a sense of, because before Lindsey Sterling, right? There wasn't such thing as like a dubstep violin type of thing. There was like, there are EMD and there's like crossover. There's crossover of classical music with modern or like trap and things like that, but like there's not, in a sense of, not trap, dubstep, or like there wasn't a mix of classical music and dubstep at that time. But Lindsey just came into the scene and just turned the whole thing around throughout YouTube, and that's also the same thing for like Pentatonics. Like when they started, right? They never started as 5 people. I mean, no, they started as 5 people, but that's a rarity in a cappella groups. Usually you have like 10 or 11, but they actually started with 5, and that started like a huge plethora of different a cappella groups with just 5 members. And the fact that they're doing more like mainstream stuff and more of poppy stuff, which is pretty unique in itself, because not many a cappella groups at that time do poppy or mainstream stuff, since it's kind of impossible to do humanly. Like you can, but it's pretty hard.
Yeah, it is kind of difficult to do that. I mean, the way I see it for those with a cappella, it's doing it all yourself, and I appreciate all the work that they ever did. I mean, I tried even doing a cappella once for music class. Holy shit, that was hard.
Oh yeah, acapella is extremely hard. It is pretty much. I felt like it's generally in its own art form in a sense. Like you have to be on pitch and everything, and like it's constant too. You cannot. You have to have. Yeah, you need to keep that note constant and be on pitch with it, and to have like the same length. You don't have like a music to guide you. So like if you're doing a sound like and that same length, it has to be that constant of that same length. So it'll be
yeah, you end up cracking after a while.
Oh yeah, of course. But that's just acapella is pretty hard. It's much harder than regular music actually in itself.
Yeah.
But
I just mostly know my music for like I know people who have done music to sing. I mean, there's a few people who have like help and be a part of the group themselves. That like one of them, Arcade Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
She does her own cover songs sometimes.
Yeah, she
And
does.
most of her role that she always tells me, whether it's doing a cappella or anything else, is just to have fun with it.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
worry if you accidentally crack a little bit.
Acapella is
Have fun with it at
yes.
first.
Yeah, because acapella is extremely fun too. Like, in itself, like, it's pretty hard. It's very inventive, but in the sense of like, you could make your own melody, actually.
That's why I also suggest people, if you want to like practice for like, if you want to do a cover yourself,
Yeah.
try singing the song itself. Because if you're doing the cover, you have the melody in your head.
Yeah. Or like,
You already know the melody.
mhm.
That's why I try doing it a cappella. I mean, people sing in the shower all the time.
Yeah, I sing in the shower all the time. I'll have you know, Andy, that I'm the 20 seasons winner of the American Idol of singing in my shower. 20 straight seasons. I've won that. I'm the champ of my own shower. But yeah, that's just like thing about singing is like everyone honestly sing in the shower, and it's a great thing to do because it's very healthy actually if you think about it, because when you shower, right, and it depends, like if you're taking a bath it's not gonna happen, but when you shower there's gonna be steam coming out, especially when you have a hot shower, and when the steams come out and when you open your voice, it's actually very calming and soothing for your throat. In the sense of it's therapeutic and it helps your throat. In a sense, it kind of like cleans your throat out. And I'm really broad brushing it, and I'm probably saying it wrong. But yeah, singing in showers is actually a very healthy way in itself. For sure.
And that is why we get a lot of nice things.
Yep. But also, just for a bit of a disclaimer, Arcade Bunny is part of Neko Dubs. In case you all didn't know, but y'all should.
She has her own channel and commission. She's just right now a buddy that helps me out. That's all we all are.
Yeah. Yeah, she helps out this channel from time to time, and she has done stuff here, right?
Yeah.
Like what has she done again? Like which videos?
Just a few dubs. I mean, I know her songs because we both ended up nerding out saying, which song of Persona are we gonna do? She's like, I'm doing this one! Fine, I'll do this one!
Yeah. Which, have you guys chose, I think Between the Shadows, right? Have you guys sang that, or?
Huh?
Persona 5, Beneath the Shadows, or something like that? Like, I'm a shit. I'm a shit.
Oh, no, that's, no. Don't even.
No!
Don't even.
Wait, what's the title?
Because if people noticed, I use some Persona 5 in our early ones.
Yeah, we used that for episode 1 of Neko Dub Podcast.
Well, I used it for a bunch of Neko Dub podcasts.
Oh, yeah,
one of them was one of my favorites. It's Beneath the Mask. It's Beneath the Mask, not Beneath the Shadows.
Oh, crap. Oh my god. I'm so bad. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at titles.
I mean, I even used the song Rivers in the Desert. I mean...
Yeah. I should... I haven't heard that song in a long while, so I apologize, but Jesus Christ.
I put instrumental songs even in this one that maybe like fuel the ambiance of all the podcasts. It's very music.
Yeah,
universal language of the world.
Yeah, I should have.
Even the artists I know, they recommend music that helps them think.
Yeah.
Even me, I write all the time.
Oh yeah.
People didn't know I'm a writer. I'm even working on a few fanfics, and I'm also working on my own novel. And I use music to set the mood all the time.
Oh yeah, music is such a very. I mean, art itself is very healthy. It benefits a culture. It creates culture, right? And music, since it is part of, it's integral for one of our 5 senses for hearing. It's part of what creates a culture. And if you look at the certain genres, right? you see how certain music are categorized within a cultural point of something, or like a cultural or historical moment. So like if you think of like classical music, right? In its category itself, we would think back of the time of Mozart and Beethoven, all the way to to how it comes in. And things like that. And if you think of like steampunk genre as a genre, you also think of the culturally of the steampunk culture that has been around. Or if you think of like trance music, you also think of more of the cyberpunk. You also think of how the genre itself. Like my point is that I may be rambling, but like my point is that music itself creates a culture, it creates a group, a subset of a group, and that's why music draws in so many people at once, because everyone can appreciate a really good music in itself.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my
I mean,
God.
I even got a few recommendations from a few friends of mine.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
have so
it's
many.
the songs that she listens to when she wants to, she starts animating.
Yeah. Like I have so many recommendations, especially if y'all are open-minded. Like, I'm not just talking about English music or music with English singers. I'm talking about like singers from all around the world. Like Korean singers, not Hispanic, Latinos, or Latin American singers, and like all German singers. Like, oh my God, all around the world. I have so many. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, wait.
Yes! He doesn't like your music!
Yes, it doesn't like my music! The car doesn't like my music! Someone's honking. I think it's... I don't think it's anything, but anything serious. Okay, wait, what? Okay, yeah, the honking stopped. You know what? Car? I defy you! I'm gonna play my own music! Yeah, beat that! I'll honk at you too! I'll honk at you too! Leave us alone! We're doing a podcast! We're talking about music! Alright,
Yep.
I think it's gone. Yeah, I have my flute with me too, because I was gonna like, I don't know, talk about it. No, it's not a flute, it's a recorder. I was gonna talk about it, so it's very convenient,
Well, yeah, even when you start playing music, I know one song on the ocarina.
Is it from Legend of Zelda? Or
No.
Okay.
I actually
Dang.
did learn a Legend of Zelda song, but then
Yeah.
I forgot it because I kept practicing this one song over and over again.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, how does that one Zelda song go? Damn it.
Or
No, I mean, I know how it goes, it's
Yeah.
just how the fingering is when you play an instrument.
Oh yeah. Legend of Zelda songs are very iconic and stuff too. Like,
Yeah, I mean, that's also the thing with game soundtracks. You have the iconic ones.
oh yeah, like that. Like,
And have you know that's why I say most of the soundtracks are game soundtracks. Please don't copyright us.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. we are game soundtrack in general in terms of copyright is actually much trickier, because in itself, like, well,
So
technically, right? Like, technically you can, and this is pertaining towards gamers. As they play the games and they record it, of course they're gonna have the music. So it's actually much safer than like, for instance, musicals. Musical is much tougher because of copyright issues and things like that. But in itself, when you have a video game music, and it can be tricky in itself.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I'm always saying that because we put video game music on our podcast.
yeah. We have Persona 5 things like that, but it should
Atlas,
be
please
fine.
don't kill us.
But it should be fine. But you see my point about earlier is that how music brings us together. It draws into a whole completely world. It has that potential to just put us into a different world. Like that's how iconic Legend of Zelda is not just because of the story, the concept, and the animation, as well as the characters. It's mainly the music. Like that's why music is very important within every aspect of media. Whether you're doing just movies, whether you're doing video games, or or stuff like that. Like everyone can appreciate and remember good music the most.
Oh yeah, I mean, you should see my Spotify playlist.
yeah, and yeah, like that's just how music is in general, and that's why I really love music.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm gonna probably trail back to how I said that pop music. You know, there's certain ones that go for they always talk about sex.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I just thought of this right now. I'm like, wait, I should have talked about that earlier. There is one band that does talk about certain sensitive subjects that I do like, but they do it because they're a comedy band.
Oh wait, what's that band called? I gotta search them.
Oh yes, it's Ninja Sex Party.
Yes, Ninja Sex Party, let's go! Yeah,
you have to do. They do that right because they're a comedy band.
Oh yeah,
because they do it right doesn't mean you guys can.
Oh shit, I have some water up my nose. I was drinking too. Oh Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, Ninja Sex Party. They're awesome. If y'all don't know, Ninja Sex Party are part of. They're on YouTube. They're part of Game Grumps. They're within the Game Grumps group, and.
Oh, they started way before Game Grumps.
Oh yeah,
I'm just saying that they do a comedy band really well.
Yeah, but I mean,
they work on Game Grumps right now.
Yeah,
and they have been for over 5 years, but the band is their own separate baby.
well, yeah, of course. What I meant as in I did not meant as in like. Of course, they started they started way before Game Grumps, but I meant as in they're part of Game Grumps, not necessarily like kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I felt like people would within the people I talk to, I felt like people know Game Grump and associate Ninja Sex Party with Game Grump. So I was just basing it off of that. That's why I was like, yeah. But anyways, that's Ninja Sex Party.
If you think it's bad, it's really not.
Yeah, it's really not. It's not like it's outlandish, right? But that's really the nature of Ninja Sex Party.
It's comedy.
Yeah. It's comedy. That's really how it is. But that and like it's generally the nature of Ninja Sex Party in general. Like they're pretty outlandish. That's kind of why it attracts people. Like for instance, Markiplier and because he does a lot of outlandish stuff too.
Well, I also listened to a few songs that Markiplier ended up doing, because that's you don't really expect that kind of YouTuber to actually have a music degree.
Oh, yeah.
It took me a few vocal lessons.
Oh yeah, Markiplier is great. I mean, everyone can sing. That's just really how it is. And like,
oh yeah, even I could sing.
Of course, your voice is very lovely, Kami. You have a very
you've never heard me sing. Don't lie to the audience.
Kami, just from hearing you talk, you have a lovely voice. I mean, have you posted cover before? I actually don't know.
No.
Okay, no wonder. You gotta post a cover. Are you gonna post a cover soon? Are you gonna post a cover soon for me?
One that I had my eye on for a bit.
You had your eyes on it? Okay. Yeah. Do you have any like sneak peek or like any hint on what you're gonna
hint?
Do? Yeah.
Oh, I can tell people right now. I mean,
okay. Are you going?
As I once, I know the topic is music, but I should say this out as what the boss, as we started out, we do whatever comic that we want.
Yeah.
They started out doing Undertale projects, and now they have this big reboot of what happened. I want to do the song that's at the end of Deltarune. That's obvious, since my co-star hasn't played it yet. I can't talk about it. I mean, that would be a spoiler podcast.
Yeah, I have not played it yet, along with some other members of the
I'm gonna say it's the song called Don't Forget at the end of the game.
Alright.
I want to cover it. It's about a minute long.
Alright. Hey, sometimes when
it's easy. It's easy.
Hey, when you do something, sometimes you just need a minute, you know? And that's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. That's just how it is, but I get you.
I also, since I played the Bard most of the time, I have gotten really good at making stuff up on the fly songs, so...
Yeah, for D&D, yeah.
When you play the Bard, it's like,
yeah,
you don't need to improv music. If you do that, it'd be funnier.
Oh yeah, it's a plus. It's a plus. Like if y'all like starting D&D but want to do a lot of improv stuff, like just play the Bard.
Grab Bard.
Yeah, just grab Bard. You could say like you improv the most in terms of Bard, really, because most of the spells and stuff requires your instrument and things like that, and like. Oh
yeah, but I mostly because I love the songs.
Yeah.
That's why I always say music makes the world go round.
Round and round. It does, like, because it resonates. It resonates to everyone. Any genre just resonates to everyone. There's a certain evocative emotion within it. Once you let it go within you, and whether you're a non-artist or an artist, like, you can relate to it the most. It's one of the fewest things that everyone can relate to, despite having any differences whatsoever. And it's
that's why I love my Spotify playlists.
I mean, for me,
I have an entire playlist for fight songs.
Nice. Like which fight songs though?
That's okay. Now this goes into some detail. After a while, since the pop genre was starting to get a little sexual, I decided to switch stations, and I got really into the rock station here in Iowa. I mean, they weren't talking about sex, and most of the songs, they were like really good songs for fights.
Yeah.
So it's mostly of the rock genre. I mean, that's why I ended up shopping with my mother, and I got Five Finger Death Punch CD. She's like, if you go into your rebellious phase, I am kicking you out of the house now.
Oh my god.
Just because you like some of those songs, just because you like the band that sounds like it's from a goth phase.
Yeah.
Just because it's named that way doesn't mean their music is bad. I love some of the songs.
Yeah.
I mean, they even say some of the things that some of those songs are great for, like, I write the fight, and it's like I can picture it right there because it's so high-paced.
Dang, that's nice. I mean, what's the artist's name?
Like I said, so most of them like resonates with the couple characters they write, and if I can picture them and get into the mood and the mindset to write them efficiently, it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I got some of the bands are like Disturbed, Five Finger Death Punch, and please, anyone else listening, no, I am not in the goth phase.
Don't worry, I know you're not, Tommy. I got you. But
I mean, everyone has they have a lot of music that ends up being, you picture that playing in the background in an RPG or something.
Yeah. I mean,
or like in an A&B that it just resonates and it's all about fighting or something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because
heck, it's like I like those bands because you don't expect what comes out of them.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't expect the song called Another Way to Die to be about pollution.
I mean, yeah.
It's about pollution.
That's really cool. That's really nice. Because not a lot of songs do that. There's not a lot of politically charged songs or just songs about... I mean, songs not... Even if it's a song not pertaining towards politics, but it is because politics... there's not a lot of songs about it. There's not a lot of like songs about like, you know, Black Mirror from Michael Jackson, or like the collaboration he did with the others, like We Are the World. There's not a lot of songs about that, even though they're really meaningful, they're really universal in a sense. There's not a lot of artists pumping that out, so having something that talks about pollution is really great.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't quite expect what it's about.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
The one called Animal was actually about werewolves, and I don't want any band members had no werewolves.
Nice. I mean, werewolves are animals.
I'm trying to explain a bit, like, most people, when they think of that genre, like, as I said, when you see the screaming grunge rock, you can understand the entirety of the lyrics.
Yeah.
And they are great about it.
Okay.
You can understand the lyrics. They're not screaming in your face. Like, most people seem to picture rock music sometimes. I listen to rock.
Yeah.
All the time.
Me too. I haven't...
They're not screaming in your face. They're,
oh, yeah.
You know, it's metal.
Yeah.
They do metal guitar.
Yeah.
Not like metal, like, rah. No, it's more like, it's a song.
Yeah. That's the real difference, is that rock, contrasting to many popular opinion, rock doesn't require you to sing, like, not sing, but scream loudly. Like, heck, the Beatles and like Elvis were a rock band and rock singer. But like, there's a different genre of rock called alternative rock that does it. Back in the early 20s.
Yeah, and
like grunge.
As I said, I don't listen to like grunge or any of the other stuff. I listen to stuff that sounds like a song.
Yes. Like,
and yeah, they're from these bands, but they sound like music.
Yeah. And like for me, I listen to a lot of transformative music, like music that are very innovative in itself. Like, so I love a lot of cross genre. Like, if you could ever do like a classical rap, that shit would be awesome. Like, I love a lot of like those classical music remixes because it's just amazing to me, and that's why I also find myself very, in a sense, a bit attachment, especially towards like Japanese music and Korean music, like K-pop and K-sets too. K-pop musically, I felt like okay, sure, if y'all are turned down by K-pop, but hear me out. The reason why I, along with like millions of others, are like into K-pop, well, I'm into any genre of music, the reason why there's millions of people that are into K-pop is because just musically, it's very upbeat, in the sense of where it's not very grungy, it's not sense of grunge. There's a lot of variety in sense, actually. Surprisingly. there is a sense of variety within the instruments, within the audios, and the uniqueness and the freshness. There's a lot. Anime, they use a lot of like orchestra along with pretty higher orchestra backing up that instrument, and it makes it very.
That's because animes have a budget.
Oh yeah, of course they have a budget. That's just how it is. But like,
you have enough.
they also cross genre a lot. Like you just see so many different genres of in terms of Japanese music. It's crazy. Like, have you heard of this band? Shoot, I forgot their name, but I think his name. They're their name? No. Okay, wait. Like the Western drums, the Western guitars, and things like that. But they also have like the taiko drums and like the different Eastern instruments in between. Hold on, what is it? Jesus Christ! But do you get what I mean, Chana?
Yeah, it. I mean, I'm happy. That's part of music too. It's like it's like, sure, it can express your culture, but you can mix them and show that. Yeah, I mean, sure, there's a lot of things that go wrong in this world. I mean, if no one's ever noticed that the human race is pretty fucked up.
Oh yeah, we're very fucked up.
But
Oh yeah,
you can mix it up, and it actually shows a bit of connection. Even if you mix up certain styles from parts of the world, it shows a connection to, hey, the Japanese don't hate Americans. We like their music. I mean, everyone seems to hate Americans, but whatever.
like low key, the Japanese actually took in a lot of the Western genres, especially in the 90s. In the 1900s, in the late 1900s, they took a lot of the genres. Like, do you know the musical Grease?
Yes.
Like, you know how the way the guys dress and the women too?
Yeah.
They that itself became a genre in Japan too. Like, it's crazy. But I found a band's name. The band's name is the Wagaki band or Wagaki band. I don't know how to pronounce it pretty well, so I apologize. But they have. Do you want me to? Am I allowed to play one of their music?
No.
No? Okay. Alright. Looks like we'll probably link it, and I'll probably link it to you privately. So we don't have
Just
to...
like, we can't play it.
I get you, but they also...
No! For reason.
No.
For those same reasons, I'm gonna stop playing the Persona 5 soundtrack.
Yeah. I get you, don't worry. We dodged a bullet, Kami, don't worry.
Yes, we're gonna get demonetized.
I'm still hired, I'm still the host.
No.
Last week I nearly got fired. We nearly closed down the podcast because I was talking about the Antichrist. Now this week we nearly got screwed over because we're gonna play a music video. Nice.
No.
No, but they're really an awesome band. Like they also do a lot of like Vocaloid covers. So like they've done a cover. One of their famous covers was they did 4 years ago called Senbon Zakura. That's a very famous Vocaloid song, and what they did with it was extremely transformative. That's why I love the music in itself. So I'll definitely link it to you. It's amazing. Like that's like
okay.
That's
You can. I mean, yeah. Have your buddies like the songs, but there's certain things you can't do for YouTube, and that's why most of the time I put instrumental songs, not the actual people singing. For reasons of don't get sued.
Yeah. Another thing that you could also do is like you can do songs with people singing because there is such thing as no copyright music, and some of them do
I know
have...
there's no copyright music, but that's none of the songs I own.
Hey, they do have people singing in them, alright? Just saying. You know, but but yeah, that's just how it is. We in this world we can't really do much without getting the rights. But anyways, we are currently within the 50-minute mark. So, is there anything else you want to talk about in terms of regarding music? And importance.
Oh, I do have a friend who plays a saxophone.
Woo! Is that friend part of our group, or is it?
No.
It's like wait, we have a member here that can play the sax?
No. Most I can do is play the ocarina a little bit.
Oh yeah.
No, she just got her sax. So
Ooh.
saved up. She gotta use sax.
Yeah.
You already made the jokes. She got that instrument.
She got that instrument. She's wait, what's a good saxophone?
Practicing. She's practicing safe sax.
Wait, what? She's practicing safe sex?
Sax.
Yeah, safe sex. It sounds like
That's the joke. I'm not gonna say this right now or say names, otherwise she's gonna kill me.
Alright.
She's really watched our videos.
Oh wait, she watches our videos?
Nope.
Alright. Let's not.
I have many friends. You don't know who I'm talking about.
Alright, Kami. Alright. I really don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. It's much better if you say it during typing.
Yeah.
S-A-X.
Alright. But is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Because one, they're instrumental. Two, we don't. Our channel is not monetized. We don't make any money off of this.
Not yet. There's a difference.
We're not monetizing though, because as soon
Yet.
as we're able to do so,
We're not
we
monetized
get
yet.
so badly.
Well, it
We get
depends.
striked so badly, and then people would put ads on the videos. No, if we get to a point, I already have a plan. YouTube's algorithm would hit us with a hammer and leave us choking on our own spit. I don't trust it.
I
don't want to lose any of that shit because none of us have backups of it.
I mean, here's the thing though. Like, there are monetized channels who are doing things that are technically
they're part of a
YouTube
network.
rules. Yeah, but they're doing things that are against the YouTube rules.
Because they're part of a network. They get some leeway.
Yeah,
I've been
but
saying
like,
that even if we're in the YouTube rules and only have one or two things, probably just because of some other stuff, because of the music, they'll strike it down. Now, I'm only gonna say this thing because I got multiple things when it comes to the music that we put on their dubs. It's that most of the time, people have made sure that the Undertale soundtrack he made sure that people could use it. Like, for making dubs or other things. Toby Fox has already made like a lot of money off of his game, so making his music copyright free? Well, sure you have to pay for the soundtrack, but you can use it in a video or a metal cover or something like that. That's why I say I mostly use Undertale soundtracks, and the Persona 5 soundtracks are instrumental, so I could skate by that.
Yeah.
But half the time when I do music, I try to go for royalty-free sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like the latest one for the Don't Starve dub.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going through forest sounds.
Yeah.
I edit all the audio before I'm obviously gunning to do all the visuals too. You can't exactly go through, I mean, in certain sections, if it gets a mood going, I'm more than willing to put some music on.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just talking in the middle of a forest, I doubt there's gonna be a song there to show it.
There
and
is.
if it needs some tension, you put some tension.
Yeah.
Like the tension when I give you your Wilson parts.
Yeah. I mean, I would say though there can be some parts, musical parts when you're in the forest. That's why we have musicals.
But that's also the thing when people are editing something and putting music behind it. You have to make sure it doesn't obscure the voices.
Oh yeah, that's true.
This is also a thing for dubs. When you're putting music, this also puts to the topic. When you're putting music on it, don't make the music louder than the voices.
Yeah.
I also do this for the podcast. Don't make the music obscure the people talking.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be background.
Yeah.
Everything is background. You can hear it. Of course, you can hear it. But it's not the main focus. It adds to the mood. The power of music adds to the mood.
Mm-hmm. I'm not just.
I did a lot of research on other musics too, because multiple people. A friend of mine has a character, and two of them have characters that have musicians.
Yeah, I mean, not only
so I was writing their characters, and they ended up being musicians. I'm like, how do you play piano?
Yeah, like not only does it add the mood though, it creates it. Like it is the mood. It doesn't add up the mood. It is the mood.
Yes, because at the end of the first episode of Resumptuous, I added something that sounded more, like when Albert's being taken away by the darkness. I added that one of the things, the instrumentals for the Persona 5 soundtrack.
Yeah.
I added the mood of, okay, this is really urgent.
Yeah, and it definitely worked. Like, well, for me. I think it worked for the audience too. For sure.
Yeah. That's why I also ask for our channel, I ask creators if they actually have a music that could go to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I also make friends with a lot of these artists.
Oh yeah, it's really great to meet. For me, it's great to have friends, to meet friends who are doing music, because it just brings.
Well, they're not exactly doing music; they just recommend music.
Oh yeah, or people with great taste of music in general. It's awesome.
Well, yeah. I mean, my one friend, she puts on a lot of good soundtracks when she's doing her art streams.
Oh. That's cool.
Half the time, I'm just sitting there watching, and I'm typing at the same time, because that creates a mood.
That's awesome.
Ah. Also, my cats seem to like a certain song.
What did they
Well,
see?
we-
Even animals enjoy music, right? Wait,
Hell
what
yeah.
songs does
They
it?
like certain music because they're like, okay.
What
Also,
music
to the
does
fact
it like?
that we are enjoying it, and then you're in turn petting them.
Oh, that's cool. Wait, what music do they enjoy?
Well, it's nothing that gets startling. Okay.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they get startled, well, I know one of my cats ends up being very aggressive when he gets scared. And you would be scared aggressive too if you got really spooked.
Yeah. Because cats can get spooked pretty easily. Alright, so I am.
I'm really running out of stuff to talk about now.
No, we're not. I have stuff to talk about. Okay. There's no need to say that to the audience.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I have stuff. Okay. Don't let the audience know that we have nothing to talk about. We have to trick the audience into telling them that we have stuff to talk about. But now we're gonna look at the time. It's the 1 hour mark, so we're gonna save more of what we're gonna talk about for the next podcast. Okay.
Okay.
No, but legit.
I am the boss, remember. You know why you can never lie to me.
yeah, we have to pass it off as if we're being truthful, okay? But no, legit. But we are past the 1 hour mark, so it is about time that me and Kami are gonna head off now and end the podcast here. We are of course gonna do another podcast for next week. And then the week after, we are gonna take a break because I'm going off to do something, and which is gonna be mentioned in the next video, next podcast. So please stay tuned. Now, thank you all for listening to us, and we hope that you all will keep listening to us anymore, and not just listen to us, but listen to music from all around the world. Discover new artists, new music. And if y'all have any favorite artists or music that me and Kami and the rest of the Neko dubs should also listen to, feel free to put them out in the comment section below. And yeah!
Yes! If you have any recommendations for music, check out the Discord links that we're not gonna mention in the description.
I mean, hey, they're gonna put us. They're gonna recommend music in a comment section below of our YouTube video, okay? And then we're gonna you and me are gonna look at it, and we're gonna tell them to our Discord group. All right, gosh. If there's any new content, we'll definitely let you all know. But thank you all so much for listening, and we hope that you all will have a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, or if you're in Kami's time, great past midnight. right? I believe.
Yes, great.
Yeah.
Let's pass out time.
Yeah, like early morning, like before dawn. But yeah, but once again, thank you all for listening, and we hope to see you all again in the next podcast. Bye bye. Wait, then play the flute. Crap, I'm so bad.